Dang, I'm actually having a good hair day today. It's probably because of the fact that I had to wash my hair this morning when I woke up. I wasn't planning on it, but I did because I did my makeup and I got makeup in my face. So I actually got one of these little tripod thingies. Like, it's actually kind of a life changer, so I probably should have set this up before I started my live, but I was thinking I would just hold the phone, but nobody is here yet, so I'm still getting used to using it. It's kind of annoying because it's like, ugh, my hands aren't like strong enough to, there we go. Hello. Sorry, I'm just setting my phone up. Hi. Wow, this is so much easier than having to hold the phone. Hold the phone. It's going pretty good. How are you? I just decided to, as Heidi Klum says, come on here and have a little chat. I'm not Heidi Klum, but I've been watching too much Project Runway, so now pretty much everything I think of is in a Heidi Klum voice. No, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. And reason for that is I don't really like football. I don't like sports in general. I mean, but who was playing? I know that my family probably watched it. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm just not a sports fan. So, hello. Hi. Jose Fabian Naranjo. Naranjo? Isn't that the Spanish word for orange? Naranjo. Hola. I speak a little bit of Spanish because my dad is fluent in Spanish, and he tried to teach me and my siblings Spanish when we were little, and I picked it up from various places. My grandma was a Cuban immigrant. She came here from Cuba legally. She came legally. But yeah, so I am actually 25% Cuban. So I should know Spanish better than I do, but I actually, for some reason, got really interested in French, which is kind of similar to Spanish. So that's part of why I can sort of understand it. And crazy enough, Russian, Ruski. And recently, I've been playing around with the idea of trying to learn Japanese. And I keep wanting to say anazeo because I remember learning that. But I know anazeo is hello in Korean. Konnichiwa is hello in Japanese. Why Japanese? Why not Japanese? I really don't have any reason. And I probably am not like going to seriously learn it because I'm not as interested in it as I was in Russian. I think with Russian, I really got interested in learning the Cyrillic alphabet. Um, with Japanese, like, yeah, vastly different language structurally and phonetically. It really is. Um, but the one thing is, like, it can be transcribed into like English. I don't know what the term is, but instead of like the characters, like Japanese characters, um, which I've looked at, they all look the same to me. I mean, I apologize if anyone speaks Japanese, but they do all look the same. I don't know how y'all, um, and that goes for like Chinese, like any of those languages, and then Arabic too. It all looks the same to me. I apologize, but that's why I like Russian, because the letters are like, once I learned the alphabet, I mean, I'm not perfect by any means, but I can I can like read and sound out words. And I like to write in Russian sometimes. I just think the letters look cool. Oh, happy birthday, Jose. That feliz feliz cumpleaños. I do know that. Not Feliz Navidad, Feliz cumpleaños. Bon anniversaire in French. And I actually don't know how to say it in Russian. How does expression change with Russian? What do you mean expression? Like, in Russian, so I made a couple friends on this language app called HelloTalk who live in Russia. So we mostly talk in English, though. Their English is a lot better than my Russian is. Hi, hello. How are you guys doing? One thing I really like about Russian is that it only has 3 verb tenses. It has past, present, and future. Versus English, we have like 13. And of course, it's past, present, and future, but it's different types. Now, I am technically a certified English tutor. I took a 120-hour teaching English as a foreign language course. And I had to study the English language and how to teach it. It is very boring and it's very complex. So I still I made a chart of all the verb tenses. To me as a native speaker, they come naturally, but like I don't really think, like when I teach, I don't think teaching grammar is as important as being conversational. Hello, you're Indian. No, I'm not from Russia. I am actually from America, but I speak some Russian, not very much, and I speak French. Hello. How are you doing? So how would one express ideas that rely on such time descriptors? I'm not really sure what you mean. Like, you mean like what time is it? Oh, the tenses. So, for example, я знаю means I know. I I don't know the full conjugation. But so like it would be like the thing with English is technically we have like 13 verb tenses, but they can be divided into past, present, and future. They're just different types. So there's like present continuous, perfect past continuous, present perfect, present participle, like all these, but it can be divided into basic, like, you know, I went, that's past, I'm going, that's present, I will go, future. So for Russian, which I have not, even though I know that there are 3 verb tenses, I have not really done a lot of conjugating verbs in Russian, except for in the present tense. They exist really through the metric of time. They exist to describe reality through the metric of time. Interesting. The lack of tenses in Russian surprises you. How would one describe ideas like that? Mixing tenses through conjugation. Mixing tenses through. I don't know. I'm not a Russian teacher. I think the one thing about Russian that is really complicated to me is their like pronoun system and how like words will change, like the word ending will change for like almost everything depending on the gender of the noun, like if it's male, female, or neutral, versus in English, like we just say cat, like, or door, and I think it's in some other languages too that they have, that it's like that. Anyway, all that to say, water, have I painted any so far? Well, I haven't painted anything in a long time, but I can show you the paintings that I do have. So, yeah, gendered suffixes at the end of words is a common feature among a lot of Eastern languages too. Yeah, that is the that is one thing that will always trip me up, I think. But again, my focus is usually like less on grammar specifics and more like conversation, because in the past when I've taught English to people who are learning it, like I don't want to focus too much on the grammar, because as I want them to be able to articulate and not worry so much about proper grammar, because honestly, like, native English speakers don't use proper grammar all the time. Anyway, but you were asking about paintings, and this is like I did this beach painting. Pretty much all the paintings I do have some water in them. And this kind of makes me want to go to the beach. It's actually been really warm lately. Like, it was super frigid, but now it's warm all of a sudden. And then this one is a mountain, but it has water. Thank you. And then this one is, it's meant to be kind of like an Arctic scene. Like, it's meant to be like ice, like a glacier, and then like the snow mass, and then like water. No, it's not embroidery. It's just a acrylic painting. Does it look like embroidery? That's kind of cool. Why do they all have water? Oh, penguins. Yeah, that is true. Like, so for this drawing, painting, it's kind of like from far away. So like, if I were to it's like from a far perspective. So the penguins would be small. But yeah, you're right. This would be a good place for penguins to live. Penguins walking away. Why do they all have water? Because I really love water. I love the beach. I love rivers. I love mountains with waterfalls. I love ponds. And I love lakes. Do I play an instrument? No. Although I'm thinking about trying to learn how to play guitar. Possibly. I don't know if I actually will, but I might. I should check Claude Monet and William Wordsworth paintings. Oh, yes. I definitely, I know, okay, now all I can think of is that scene in Titanic when Jack and Rose are looking at paintings and he's like, oh, Monet. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, look at his use of color there. Isn't that extraordinary? And she's like, I know, it's extraordinary. And I'm like, it's just funny. Can I sing a worship song? Oh, cause maybe. I feel a little awkward, like, singing. But, maybe in a little bit. I don't sing. It's kind of funny because, the other day at church, I was talking with my friend, and she was asking me, like, where we do dance together at church, like, for the kids. In the kids' class, we, like, dance. We have worship songs that we have dance moves that we do on stage for the kids to practice. But she was asking if I sing, and I'm like, I do, but I feel nervous about it. William Wordsworth paintings, Brooke. Men may come and go, but I'm forever, says the brook. It's kind of funny. What's my favorite Bible verse? Oh, wow. I have a lot of favorite Bible verses. But I will tell you in a second. I'm going to go grab myself a cup of coffee, decaf coffee that I made. And it's waiting over there. And then I'll come back and we can read the Bible some. Hope I don't spill this. except in my apartment. I like to wear heels to make videos, and then sometimes I just wear them for fun. I put them on like even though I'm at home, so okay. It's like a whole nother world having this like tripod thing. Ay. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. So, oh yeah. Yeah, I have, that's another thing that I love is, well, this one is actually a Russian. So this is the first Rocks and Minerals book that I got when I was in college, and I love it. But I got this one, which is kind of like a Russian version of it. My friend who lives in Russia actually sent it to me, and I love it. It says, it's called Kamen i Minerali, which means rocks and minerals. Yeah, I am into geology. I was a geology major in college, and I did not end up finishing that degree, but I still learned a lot. And I was actually like looking through some old like I have tons and tons of notes on geology, and I actually study it like nowadays, like just for fun. Mineralogy especially was my favorite class, and I actually have I have some geology videos on my channel, and I'm thinking about making some more. You look really nice today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved minerals and rocks. And it wasn't until like college that I learned, like I used to collect what I had a rock collection, quote unquote. But really it was a collection. I mean, I think I had some rocks, but mostly minerals because there is a difference between rocks and minerals. And the difference is rocks are aggregates of minerals, meaning they're made up of two or more minerals. Metallurgy, mineralogy. Oh yeah, petrology. Yeah, so I took, my favorite class ever was mineralogy. And then I took igneous and metamorphic petrology. So, I definitely loved mineralogy the most, and I kind of was like, wow, I wish I could just major in this. But it's a very small and specialized field. Okay. Alex, please stop commenting that. Have I done any field work? No, sadly, because, well, not sadly. It's because I ended up changing my major and not finishing my geology degree. I was actually looking through like my old documents and stuff, and I had applied for this one internship at a natural science museum, but I didn't get it. I did a little bit of research at college with one of my former geology professors. Like, we did this thing where I don't really remember, but we were like searching for zircons. He had like a lab with like a bunch of he, he had a lot of bags of like sediment, and basically we were like searching through the sediment for zircons. How many years are those courses? 2 years. So it really depends. I mean, the courses I took were semester long. Each one is a semester long. I think I took in total, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 geology specific classes, and then one of them I ended up dropping out of, which was structural geology. Retrospect, I wish I had not dropped out of it, but I got overwhelmed. And then, yeah, so it's kind of sad, but they're 3-year courses in Europe. Oh, wow. Yeah, in America, it's different. And like the funny thing is, like, I have a lot of college credits, but I changed my major way too many times and I ended up never graduating. But it's okay. Do I have a fur coat? No, I would never wear a fur coat ever. I think it's like very cruel. Faux fur is fine. But yeah. Love from Amsterdam. Nice. Taking geology is very rare. Yeah, I do remember, like, there weren't a lot of geology majors, and I know my parents were always like, geology, what are you gonna do with that? And I was like, I don't know. And the reality is, like, I don't really see that, even if I had finished my degree, like, the options would have been, like, working in, like, the oil industry, which I really didn't want to do, or, like, working in the field, and, like, going out, and I honestly don't know. What I was really interested in was mineralogy. Well, what got me into it was I was taking, Dynamic Earth as a core science class. I started out in college as a journalism major. I don't know why. I thought I used to really like writing, and I always kind of wanted to be on TV, so I thought I could do that. But then I was taking geology as a core science, and because I'd always loved earth science as a kid, Like, and one day the professor was talking about how, like, the careers you could have in geology, and like, he said, if anyone in class is interested in switching majors, come see me after class. And then I still remember it was like a big auditorium with like maybe up to like 100 people. So like me and this one other kid walked down to him, and I still remember when I walked up to him and he like looked at me with this face like, and I'm sure the last thing he expected me to say was, I want to be a geology major. But I did. And then me and that other guy became pretty good friends, and yeah. That is one thing I miss, is like the friends. Indiana Jones. No, I've never really been that interested in archaeology. I did have a friend who was really interested in archaeology though. But yeah, and you're right, mostly men get into oil rigs, chemical engineering, all that stuff. So like, I think for me, like, I really love it. I just don't think I like working it in an actual field, geological field. I don't think I would like, but I do like to teach it. So, that's why. So I've made like some videos. Like, I also like acting, which that's what I ended up switching my major to, was theater. Because I've always loved acting. Didn't finish that either, but I ended up like I started YouTube because I wanted to do like start acting. So most of the stuff I have on YouTube, at first it was mostly like vlogs and stuff like that, but then I started coming up with these characters and acting them out. And one of the characters is a geologist that I made up. Her name is Dr. Amethyst, and she kind of reminds me of Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. But so if you're interested, like, I think I have 4 Dr. Amethyst videos where I actually do teach some mineralogy. Like, and it's actually real stuff. And I kind of want to make more videos. You'll find your way. In Europe, most people find out what they want to do when they're in your 30s or 40s. Or, yeah, that's good to know. Have I ever had a telescope? A long time ago, but it didn't, I barely remember it. The moon has been really pretty lately though. Alex, I don't know, I don't really feel comfortable singing right now, but I am sorry about your grandpa. That I'm really sorry about that. Maybe I'll sing in a little bit, I don't know. Yes, I did used to do theater, and it was musical theater too, but I only ever had one song, like, solo on stage, and it was like a duet, really. It was in the play Seussical Jr. And I was Mrs. Mayor, the mayor of Whoville's wife, and the song was about their son, and it was a very short song. But yeah, I don't know. And then when I was in college, I did a few singing auditions, and they absolutely terrified me. And I was able to get over the fear of that a little bit, but I don't know. And I do like to sing, just not on the spot. How many students? Well, I had a few different geology classes, and the first one was kind of like a general geology class, and it had like 100 students maybe. And then the second one, it had maybe like 40. And then once you got into the majors, like the major courses, which mineralogy was the first one, we had maybe 15 people in the class. 15 to 20, I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, I still remember like the best part was like going into the lab, and like we would look at like slides of minerals under the microscope, and like in thin section. Whoop, Snowy. Ah. Thank goodness I have this now, because I can move it away from him, but the cats always love to rub on everything. Seats are very low for geology 15. So, are you talking about like advanced geology classes or like basic? Because like in America you have to take like a core science class. So the first one was filled with a lot of people who were not geology majors, but then like the actual geology major classes had like 15 people, if that makes sense. You get inspiration, spontaneous, not on cue, like making, yeah, I am like that too. Oh, he says hi. His name is Snowy. He he says hi. Yeah, I get inspiration like that too. And like for me, it's kind of rough because I go through like periods of time where I have like so many ideas. And my head is just overflowing with them. Like I still come across like notes of like video ideas that I never created and still want to create. But like I would have all these ideas at one time, and it's almost overwhelming. And then for a long time I was having like no ideas. Like I was like really on like a big creative block, which is why I kind of took a really long break from YouTube. I mean, not really long. I still like posted like shorts and stuff like that. And I did like a live here and there. And I think I've made like 2 videos since like in the past several months, which for me is not a lot. But I'm really just, I'm trying to get back to where like I used to really love it. And I want to get back to that, which is why I'm going live today, because I'm trying to renormalize myself with it, because I really do enjoy it. Anyway, How old is Snowy? That's a good question. And he's about to knock over my coffee. So, let's see. I got him in 2022. So that was 4 years ago. And he was 2 when I got him. So I guess he's like 6 years old. The thing you always find fascinating, the walls. Oh. You know, I honestly wish that, like, I mean, I don't notice it anymore because I've lived in this apartment for quite a few years. But when I first moved in, I really didn't like the wall color. I really wished that the wall color was white because the apartments that I had lived in before, like at college, they were older and they had white walls and I liked it a lot better. So I'm used to it now. Also, another thing I really didn't like was the carpet, like the carpeted floor, but I really wish I had even like fake wood floors, because I mean, the apartments that I had before, like, were older buildings and they actually had original hardwood, and they were really a lot cheaper than this place, so it was kind of hard for me to move into a place that I really didn't like that much. But I like it now. And I do like the big window and stuff, but if I had it my way, it would be different. You're taking a break too. You made content for 2 months straight in October to January. Well, yeah, what kind of content do you make? I'll have to check out your channel. I'm always interested in finding other people to watch. Is there a reason why it's always painted in a color? I don't know. In the US, you see carpets and gray beige walls. Ugh, I really don't like the gray beige walls. Wood floors and white walls, I would so much prefer that. I think, I don't know, as far as the wall color, I think people here really like neutral colors, quote unquote. For me, I would, like, if I were to have the walls painted, I would have it be like a really light blue or really light green even. And I don't know why. And then as far as the flooring goes, carpet is just a lot cheaper. And the other option is like linoleum or fake hardwood. And then, of course, like actual hardwood is most valuable, but it's more expensive. You make mostly shorts about historical sites and music. Okay. Well, I will have to look at your stuff. I do a mix of different things too. What breed is he? So he's not a bobcat because he has a tail. I think he's just American short hair. I don't know. I mean, he could be a British short hair, but he was born in America, so I think that makes him American. As far as I know, he's just a short hair, American short hair. But he's very beautiful. I have another cat too, which I don't know where he is, but his name is Mushi and he is a Siamese. He's around here somewhere. Mushy! Mushy! I don't know. He's probably asleep right now, because usually if he hears me, he comes. And, now I'm wondering where he is. It's funny. Anyway, he's super sweet. He's kind of, he acts like a dog, actually. And probably he's meditating somewhere. That's funny. Yin and yang. Yeah, kind of. But yeah, they're both boys. And they usually get along pretty well together. And I really wish I could let them go outside, but I'm too nervous about it because, so the other day I tried to let them, so I live on a second floor apartment in a neighborhood. And there are some people in this neighborhood who have cats and let them walk around the neighborhood. And I wish I could let mine, but I'm just too nervous that they would like get lost or hit by a car or get like some disease or something. Your sister had over 20 cats? That's insane. I mean, not like, that's crazy. Like, did she like rescue cats or something? Tigress and Annie. You pick. Oh, yeah. So I did pick their names. Well, Snowy, when I adopted him, his name was Rhodey. And I was trying to think of like a name for him that was more elegant, but like all I could think of was Snowy, just because he's like almost pure white. And it's kind of basic, but it works. And then Mushi, when we got him, he was a kitten, and his name was Peachy, actually, which is kind of silly, but it's because he's fuzzy, and when he was a kitten, he was especially like fuzzy, so like peach fuzz. And we couldn't, like, for the longest time, we could not figure out what to name him. I kind of wanted to name him Blueberry because he has blue eyes. We thought of a lot of different things. And then one day, like, my mom saw a picture of him and she just said, Mushy! And for some reason, we were like, hey, Mushy, that actually works. And you guys, you know what's really funny is, so I spell his name Mushi, Mushi. And I kid you not, I found that name in the Bible. Like, I was reading, this person was like, just mentioned one time, but there's a person named Mushi, Mushi, in the Bible. And I was like, what? And even my dad didn't know that. And my dad is, went to seminary, and he's a chaplain. So I'm looking for it so I can show you guys. Mushi likes sushi, exactly. Yes. Oh, orange cats. I have a friend who has a orange cat, and he is very cute. And when I was little, we had an orange cat, and her name was Pinky. But yeah, let me see where I should have like made a note of where it is. So you know how in the Bible there's a lot of genealogies, like in the Old Testament especially, and there'll be like lists of names of people. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Okay, you can't really read that, but so this is Exodus chapter 6 verse 19. The sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. These were the clans of Levi according to their records. So some guy named Merari had a son named Mali and Mushi. Yeah. Yes. Exodus. Yeah. So that was pretty wacky. And I forgot. I forgot to underline it. But it's just crazy, like, okay. Can you guys see? It's backwards. Anyway, if you care to look it up, it is Exodus chapter 6, verse 19. Yeah. But anyway, I found that out because, and I kind of need to get back to it, but I decided that I wanted to try and read through the whole Bible. Like I read the Bible a lot, but usually just like parts of it. But I decided that I really want to just start, like I want to read through it all the way. Hey, I mean, I didn't know it was a biblical name. None of us did. But God created snow, so, you know. I don't know what else I would have named him. I don't know. It was just, I tried to think, oh, manna. That's an interesting idea. Because, that is an interesting idea. But they did eat a lot of bread in the Bible. Bread, but it says in the Bible somewhere that, you know that song, sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. So I know it talks about snow sometimes in the Bible. Yeah. It would be interesting to see what manna actually looked like. But yeah. God sent manna raining down from heaven, and it looked like snow. Talk to you later, Sierra. Have a nice week. Okay, bye. Talk to you later. It would be nice to have a study partner. Studying. What are you studying? Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. You are right. I read that kind of recently. God said to save, I think it was like an ounce of it to have a Bible study. So, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I've been thinking that I would like to start doing more like YouTube live Bible studies. Like I used to do that. And I do have some like Bible like videos that I've made, but I kind of like to do like live Bible study. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing that more often. I will read to you guys what I read today. One of the things. This Bible is like really old, and it's really like, I don't know, like sometimes I think I should get a new one, but because it's so like marked up and stuff, but I like this old one. It's actually a French English Bible. And then I have some things written in Russian in here. I also have a Russian Bible. Okay. I wrote this down. Oh, wait, it was in James. So, do you guys know the Bible app? Because there's an app, a Bible app, and you can get it, and it will give you, it gives a verse of the day every day. So like even sometimes I will just read that, or I'll read the verse and then like the whole chapter. So I would say non-denominational. Like I like to say I'm a biblical Christian. Because really the denominations were not made up in the Bible. They were made up by men later on. And I say men as in like just people in general. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being Lutheran, Baptist, Pentecostal, what have you. But what is kind of bothersome is that some of those denominations interpret the Bible not in different ways, and they add things, add rules and standards that are not in the Bible necessarily. But yeah, like if you read, well, you read in Acts about the early church, like after Jesus ascended to heaven, the early church is a pretty good representation of what church should be like. Oh, wait. So, like, the thing about the Bible that's so good is, like, there really isn't anything. I mean, there's, like, everything in it is good. So I'm just, like, I'm flipping through and trying to find what I read specifically today, but I'm seeing all these other things that I want to talk about. I'm probably, like, when I do these lives, I'm gonna need to do it earlier in the day because my voice is getting a little bit tired now. It is 5 p.m. for me. 5 p.m. Oh, wait. Here it is. Well, this is one of the things that I read. This is Philippians 3, verse 7. And this is Paul writing, because Paul wrote a lot of the epistles in the Bible. And the epistles basically means like they were letters that he was sending to different churches. So Philippians, he was writing to the church in Philippia, I think. You consider not... Yeah, the disciples were followers of Christ, not part of an ism. Exactly. Yeah, they were like Christians. Yes, exactly. Anyway, what I read is, but whatever were gains to me, I now consider loss for the sake of Christ. What is more, I consider everything a loss because of the surpassing worth of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, for whose sake I have lost all things, and I consider them garbage, that I may gain Christ and be found in him, not having a righteousness of my own that comes from the law, but that which is through faith in Christ, the righteousness that comes from God on the basis of faith. I want to know Christ, yes, to know the power of his resurrection and participation in his sufferings, becoming like him in his death, and so somehow attaining to the resurrection from the dead. So I wrote that down, and then I was thinking about one specific thing, which is basically this guy that I really, really, really was in love with. And like about a year, close to a year ago, I really was in love with him, but I had to let him go because I had to choose Jesus instead of him. And sometimes I'm like, Lord, why did you let me fall in love with him? Because I still think, every time I think, oh, maybe I'm over him, something reminds me of him. And while I know in my head that the relationship would not have been good ultimately, it's kind of hard to, be like, oh, I never felt like anyone that before. But so I gave him up for Jesus, and like this is what Paul is talking about, because the surpassing worth of knowing the worth of Jesus Christ, knowing Jesus Christ surpasses everything, and compared to that, everything else is garbage. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Was he a Christian? Well, I honestly don't know, because I actually had, I did lead him. He wasn't a Christian when we met, but I talked to him about God a lot. And I did lead him in a prayer one night to accept Jesus into his heart, and he did. And so technically, yes, but I really don't know. Only God knows for sure, because he really wasn't, like, after that night, like, he really didn't change. You know what I mean? Like, his life, he didn't really change. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Obviously, I'm not. But part of being a Christian is, we're always going to mess up, but we need to be trying to get better and follow Christ. We need to, and he really, as far as I could tell, wasn't. Is he saved? Well, the Bible says, if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart God rose him from the dead, you will be saved. So if he did say that, and if he believes in Jesus, yes, he is saved, but he's not really living a Christian lifestyle, as far as I know. That can be, and Sarah, yes, so my name, your question, so my name is actually Sierra. It's Sarah with an I in it, and they did name me for a particular reason. You're right. Sarah is from the Bible, and so the Hebrew word for Sarah means princess, and the I in it stands for I am, the great I am, which is what God revealed his name to be to Abraham and Sarah when he renamed Abram and Sarai. Her name was Sarai before, and his name was Abram. But or he revealed himself to be the great I am to Moses. Either way, that's what it means. But my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she had a vision of like this mountain with the word Sierra like written on it, and like she knew that was what my name was meant to be. Not Sierra like that. Sierra as in like Sarah with an I in it. So it's pronounced like Sierra, but it's spelled Siarah. So yeah, it is pretty special. Yeah, she had a vision. I know, it's pretty cool. And of course, only she knows exactly what it looks like, but I kind of have an idea in my head of what it could have looked like. But yeah, so it's really special to me because it means God's princess. And my whole life, I've always wanted to be a princess. Like, ever since I was little, I loved, like, Disney princesses and dressing up like them. And, people would often tell me when I got a little bit older that I looked like a Disney princess and seemed like a Disney princess. And for a long time, I was actually sad because I really wanted to be a Disney princess, but I knew that I never would be because I'm just a normal girl. But once I really started thinking about what my name means and started acting like that, and also knowing that it's true, like in the Bible, technically, it's not just me. If you're a Christian, if you believe in God, God is the king, and he gives us the right to become his children if we believe in him. So if we are adopted into the royal family, that makes us princes and princesses. So it's not just me, it's anyone who believes. But the more I really kind of leaned into that, and I'm like, hey, actually, I am a princess. So, I'm God's princess. And that's really helped me a lot. But yeah, as far as prophetic, she's definitely had like prophetic visions before and stuff like that. she has visions and fairly often, but like not, I don't know, she's not like, being a prophet is really something that every Christian can like be. It's just, God gives specific gifts to everyone, but everyone who believes in Jesus like has access to prophecy. I mean, like, a lot of the Bible is prophecy. So there's nothing like specifically special about, like, anyone, can, if you ask God to give you wisdom in a prophetic way. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just like, it's not as fancy as it sounds. Yes, God can use anyone and he can work through anyone for sure. But yeah. And this has been a lot of fun. And I definitely think that I'm gonna start coming on here and doing more Bible studies, because actually, so several years ago, so my dad is actually a minister. Well, he was a pastor, now he's a chaplain, but he's a minister. And several years ago, God told me that he is calling me to ministry just like my dad. So I am really passionate about ministry. Specifically children's ministry, like at my church, I volunteer in children's ministry, but I'm just passionate about it in general. It really makes us look bad when people, oh, well, the thing about that, the Bible does say no one knows the day or the hour, not even the Son. Not even Jesus knows. Only God the Father knows the day or the hour. So anybody who predicts the rapture is, like on a specific date. That's not like biblical. However, we can, from what the Bible says, infer that we are living in the last days. So we can say, like, these signs are being fulfilled. So, there are a lot of pastors, myself included, a lot of Christians who believe that Jesus could come back at any moment. However, I've actually talked about this with my dad quite a lot, because sometimes I'm really like, I feel really sad, and I'm like, man, Jesus, I just wish you would come back, because I just want to go to heaven and be with you. And my dad says, Jesus is not going to come back until the work on earth is finished. And that means, there are still people out there who have not heard the gospel. Jesus is not going to come back until everyone has had the chance to accept him. The signs of the times, like it says in Matthew 24. Yeah. If you guys are interested in this, there's one of my favorite online pastors. His name is John Barnett. I will actually, like, once this video uploads, I can put it in the comments, his name, John Barnett. He has a fabulous channel. He puts videos out almost every day, and he talks a lot about the end times, and he's also very like nice and soft spoken and like easy to listen to. And he's not like, oh, the rapture is going to happen on this day at that time, but he talks about like the general like signs of the times and stuff. You're right. And honestly, that is a question, like it does say in the Bible, Jesus does say, so yes, they are, like, and I don't know. I mean, that is something I'm like, the concept of the Trinity, you know, 3 persons in one is something that is, you know, hard for us. Like, I think we will only be able to fully comprehend it when we get to heaven, and even then, not fully. But it does say in the Bible that not even the Son knows. But it may be that when Jesus said that, like, something I just thought of is he said that while he was on earth. So maybe when he was on earth, he didn't know, but maybe now he knows. I don't know. But again, that's something we'll have to wait and ask him. Like H2O, water is liquid form and ice cubes, solid and vapor. Yeah, that's actually a fabulous analogy. I love that. I don't know if I've ever used that before, but you're exactly right. Water is a liquid. It can be frozen into ice, and it can be vapor. So, yeah, that's actually a really good analogy. So, if you ever run into like someone who has like a question about that, I would say that is something you could tell them. Yes. Yeah. So one of my favorite, gosh, I don't know how this happened. I'm pretty sure one day I had like the Bible like laying open on the floor, and one of my cats scratched it. So this is a little bit torn up. But have you read John 1? Like John chapter 1 verses 1 through 5. That is kind of like a really good summation of the Trinity. The fire burning in, yeah, so it was God. And so here we go. So this is John chapter 1. The Word became flesh. When he says Word, the Word refers to Jesus. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. So, in other words, in the beginning was Jesus, and Jesus was with God, and Jesus was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And then later on, the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. In other words, Jesus became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. So, I'm pretty sure I actually made a video on that. A while back, like kind of a what's called exegesis. Exegesis meaning like explanation of scripture of John 1 through 5, essentially. And some other verses, but like basically saying, I mean, I presented it kind of like as I would like a research paper. I actually was in Bible college for a while online, and I ended up quitting that too. Sometimes I think about going back and finishing, but I just got really overwhelmed because there was too much work, and I really love to study. I love to study on my own and on my own time. I don't really like to write papers. And also, like, I didn't really like doing it online, but anyway, all that to say, I wrote kind of like a thesis about that. And I made a video on that. So I need to take a quick break, but I will be back. I'm just gonna put this on mute for a second, and then I will come back because I want to keep talking. Okay, hi, I'm back. Yeah. The whole Bible was a prelude to Jesus, beginning and end. True. You know, that is very true. And that is why I love the Bible. Yes, the book of Isaiah does mention Jesus. And that's what's cool about Bible prophecy. So, like, Isaiah prophesied about Jesus hundreds of years before he was even born. And the crazy thing about the Jews is that, like, so Jesus came and he fulfilled all the prophecies that were said about the coming Messiah. And they were expecting the Messiah to come. But even when he came and he fulfilled all the prophecies, you know, some people followed him. And some people didn't. So it is, let's see, where, like, there was a time Jesus actually went into one of the synagogues. He opened up the scroll of Isaiah and he read from the scroll, the book of Isaiah. He read, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to preach good news to the poor and healing," something like that. And everyone freaked out because he basically, that was him like declaring that he is the Messiah. And yeah, they didn't recognize him. Not trying to be weird, but oh, thank you. Thank you, Christopher. You have the same name as my brother. Yeah, I like the knee socks too. Where? Oh, well. See, there are a lot of things that I know in the Bible, but I don't know exactly where they are. We are Gentiles, but God loves everyone. And the Messiah came first for the Jew, but then to the Gentiles. And the Jews, for the most part, rejected him, and the Gentiles accepted him, which is crazy. Sorry, I have to check a message really quick. Oh. Okay. Well, that's fine. So I had some plans, but they were canceled, so I can stay on here longer. That's actually good because I kind of wanted to cancel the plans anyway. Even in the Old Testament, he commanded Jonah. Sorry, hold on a second. That's true. He did command Jonah to go to Nineveh, and he was like, "I don't want to go there. The people are horrible there." Have you guys ever seen VeggieTales? And there's a VeggieTales about Jonah, and oh my gosh, it's so good. But the character who plays Jonah, Archibald the Asparagus, he goes, "Nineveh, oh Nineveh, Nineveh is where I draw the line. Sorry, I'm heating up my decaf coffee. Anyway, Christopher, you said you were named after Saint Christopher. That's cool. Yeah, my brother, so Christopher means Christ bearer. Anyway, so I was technically supposed to go on a date tonight, and I don't know. I've been a little bit iffy about it, so maybe this is God saying that it's not right. Because I wasn't quite sure. Apparently he had a class that he forgot about, like a call, so it's okay. But I mean, I did pray and I said, Lord, if this is the right thing, please let it work out. If not, please let me know. God chose Jews. God, the new guy, oh, yeah, he's definitely not the one I was talking about. But so we actually, like, we met like years ago in college and reconnected recently, like found out that we live in the same city. But we've been talking for a long time about getting together. We were just gonna go to the gym, that's all. But, you know, things keep coming up. So it's okay. I don't know if he's a Christian. And that's probably where it's actually funny because on Sunday at church they were talking about how it's important to have it's important to have godly relationships. And I was thinking about him and I was like, because like I kind of get the sense that he's not a Christian because I've mentioned many times before, you know, like me going to church on Sundays, and he's like, he doesn't go to church, so I don't know. He could still be a Christian, and who knows, but I don't know. It's okay. I didn't really feel like it was right, for sure, anyway. Friends reunion. I mean, ooh, snowy. Yeah, I have no idea because we really haven't really talked about faith, which is probably Like, the more I talk about it, the more it seems like a red flag. It's just hard to meet, like, it's hard to meet Christian guys, honestly. It's really hard because at my church, most people my age are already married, which is fine, but there are not, I mean, I go to a small church, so it's okay. Oh no, Snowy, don't step on me. Ow. Yeah. It definitely is. And like in the past, I've dated non-Christian guys, and it's always gone terribly. The thing is, like, I'm not like super, like, I'm not upset about it because I'm still kind of, it's not like I'm still into this person, the guy I was talking about earlier, but I'm like, Lord, how can I ever love someone the way I loved him? And I don't know, but I trust God. I trust that he'll bring the right person at the right time. It is a little disappointing, but it's okay. So I'm obsessed with water, like flavored water. Snowy. Oh, he's hungry. God will put the right person in my life. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I know, and in the past, I have fallen for a lot of not very good guys. Ugh. And I think I still have a lot of healing to do from that. But like that's kind of like why right now like I'm fine being single. Although I do sometimes wish I had a boyfriend, but at the same time, it also says in the Bible, it's better to be single than, I mean, it says better to be single than married to a quarrelsome wife, but it essentially means it's better to be single than be with the wrong person. So, and it's very true. But thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. Not only finding Christian guys, but it's hard to find Christian girls who believe. I mean, yeah. Really, the best place to find them is in church. Because But again, so I have a lot of friends at church. And I also serve in children's ministry, so I love that. But I did meet, there is one new guy that I met a couple weeks ago, but who knows? Amish. Oh, are you? Yeah. Well, that's a sad topic anyway. It's okay. Traditional godly values person. The pastor was really funny on Sunday. He said something like, I don't care how long his eyelashes are. I don't care how brown his eyes are. If he if he's pressuring you to do the wrong thing, then he's not the right person. And honestly, this guy sadly today, I feel like that probably would happen if I get too close to that guy. So, yeah. It's just kind of funny that the sermon was about that. But sometimes I think, Jesus was single his entire life. And, sometimes I don't even, I don't know. Traditional, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in a relationship in a long time, and so I kind of forgot how it feels. Yeah, you're right, Christopher. I know. And that's why, I don't worry, because one of the songs that we sing that we dance to in kids' church, it's called, My Best Friend. It says, Jesus, you are my best friend. You will always be. Nothing can ever change that. So, and I do consider Jesus to be my best friend. And yeah. Hillsong Australia. Hillsong seems to be like, ooh, you know what I like is Hillsong in Russian. I haven't listened to Hillsong in Russian in a while. God created man and woman to be together. Of course, being celibate is an option. But God, it's funny. So, yeah, God did create man and woman to be together, but some people are called to be single. And I'm pretty sure it says somewhere, like, Paul talks about how he wishes that more people would be single like him. So I had to move to my room to charge my phone. Maybe we can talk about that in another live. What music do I like? So, a kind of eclectic taste. Right now, I really am only listening to either Christian music, which I don't listen to too often because I'm a little bit bored of the songs, but I really love the singer Jeremy Camp. He's one of my favorite. It's funny, he's been like my top Spotify artist for like the past like 2 years. I really love his songs. Also like Stephen Curtis Chapman. My last name is Chapman, so I feel like we're family in a way. But I really like to listen to Russian music actually, and there's this one band that I like called Cold in May, and they actually just put out a new album, and they're kind of cool, like, sort of like EDM, punky, very, very fringe, but I like all their songs. They have some English songs, but I like the Russian songs better. And that's part of how I started learning Russian, was listening to Russian music. Have you ever heard the song That's Who I Praise by Brandon Lake? Probably. I know Brandon Lake. I know the name. Yeah, I'm trying to think what my favorite... One of my favorite songs is, a Stephen Curtis Chapman song. It's an old song called Jesus is Life. And also Diving In. Oh yeah, The Light. So I have, these really cool lights, and they have a bunch of different modes, but my favorite mode is the rainbow mode. So, Toby Mac. Oh yeah, Toby Mac's good. I actually saw him in concert. He came to my city. It was a good concert. What shows do I watch? So, right now I am very obsessed with Project Runway, and I don't know why. And I'm kind of sad because I'm pretty much through all of the free episodes that are on YouTube. I started watching Project Runway like about 10 years ago. Me and my sister got really into it for a while. We would watch it together, and then I stopped. But then like recently I was kind of bored and I wasn't really watching, like, I don't have Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. Because YouTube actually has a lot of free movies and TV shows. And honestly, most of the stuff on Netflix is kind of crap. But, yeah, I've been watching Project Runway, and I'm thinking about making, like, a parody, like, spoof video, of it, because, like, I just think it's so funny. Hello, designers. As you know in fashion, one day you're in, and the next day, you're out. Okay, let's meet the judges. First, we have creator and director of Marie Claire magazine, Nina Garcia. Hi, everyone. Something. I don't know, like Zach Posen. Hello, designers. And special guest judge, random person. Hi, everyone. I don't know. Oh, and we also have Tim Gunn here for the runway show. As you know, he is your mentor and will not be judging your looks. And then Tim always goes. I love Tim Gunn. He's like the sweetest. The way he did that was kind of yeah, I really I like to do voice. I like to imitate people, like imitate people. So my favorite movie, I have a couple favorite movies. One of them is Titanic. There, just so many things. One of my favorite lines from that is Cal when he says, "Rose is displeased. What to do?" I know. It just cracks me up. That was another thing me and my sister watched together. But I also, I love the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty with Ben Stiller. Yeah, I would love that. That would be super fun. 'Cause I've always loved doing voices. I have a couple videos where I have this one video where I like did the voices of all the Magic School Bus characters. But yeah, that would be really fun. And then I have like some characters that I've made up. I don't know. Lately, so this is when I get like, I have all these ideas, and I've been through like this period of time where I've just kind of been like not really doing much, but now I'm starting to get more ideas, so you'll probably see more stuff from me. You saw that movie when it came out? The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, you mean? Oh, and I never watched Project Runway Junior. Thought I might. If you make up characters, how come? So, I actually have done that before. With I actually have done that before. And I'm thinking about, like, I'd love to do it again. It's just hard because I do make a lot of acting videos, but most of the time it's just like because I'm just, you know, one person, like, I have different characters, and, like, I'll do, like, you know, this character Avril, like, and she's always talking on the phone, so there are various characters worked into that, that she talks on the phone to, but it's always just me by myself. But this other character that I have, who I have not played in a long time, but her name is Becky Rosewood, and she is Australian, so I do an Australian accent. And she has some stuffed animal friends, and I've given them like personalities and stuff. So I actually did make one short video where I did like film different clips. I think it's called Besties for the Resties or something like that. It's on my Becky Rosewood playlist. Braveheart and Gladiator. I know that my dad loved those movies. I'm not a fan of like those type of movies, but like I don't really like war movies or super intense. I'm trying to think. There's this really you could see me voicing a character in Cars or The Simpsons. Oh man. Cars. Oh gosh. I remember that movie when that came out, like watching that. And sometimes I would like mimic the characters' voices. Cars? Really? It's honestly like not a bad movie. I do remember when it came out. That was so long ago. $1997. Cars was definitely not in 1997. Yeah. But it was in that era of time when when they still made good movies. You know, like nowadays, I don't even watch movies anymore, like new movies that come out, because they're always like, for one thing, there's way too much CGI. Like, everything is computer generated and it just looks ridiculous. And I really am not a fan of all the like Marvel movies, and like there's just always a new superhero or something like that they're coming out with. Ugh. Toy Story kind of freaked me out. I don't know why, but Toy Story freaked me out as a kid. But I did love Cars. I really loved Pocahontas. Pocahontas 1 and Pocahontas 2. And The Lion King. The Lion King 2. Snowy. He's just laying here. I managed to get this collar on him, and I want to put one on Mushi in case they escape, but Mushi really doesn't like wearing the collar. I was thinking about Grey's Anatomy the other night. Like, I was really into Grey's Anatomy for a while. Um, TLK. Oh, The Lion King. Yeah, that. So, The Lion King 1, it was really upsetting, but I really liked The Lion King 2. Yeah, Disney, oh my gosh, Snow White. Oh man. That was a whole fiasco. I know. And then I was kind of like not really happy when they started coming up with all these like live action movies and stuff. I don't know. I never watched any of them. But yeah, so now I just watch a lot of Project Runway, and I'm probably gonna rewatch some of the seasons. I would love to play Snow White. I would love to play any of the Disney princesses. And yeah, I think part of the problem with her was just, she just had such a bad attitude, you know, like, regardless of whether her acting or singing was even any good. Like, I didn't actually see the movie. I just watched a lot of like reviews about it. But she was just apparently not a really nice person. And yeah, she ruined the character, and she was apparently like really difficult to work with. Finding Nemo, oh, that's a classic. But that one actually kind of scared me. I remember, like, as a kid, it kind of scared me a little bit, and also made me sad, because of what happens to Nemo's mom at the beginning. I don't know what is up with Disney and like, oh, also, oh, Fantasia. I don't think I ever watched that, because it was one of the weird ones. So, one thing, speaking of Disney movies, I always thought it was so odd. Like the other night, a while ago, I started thinking about Frozen and like the whole story of Frozen and how weird it was. Like, of course, Disney had to come up with some plot point so that the parents would be, you know, I was just thinking, like, why did it have to be, like, the whole movie could have happened this way. The whole movie could have happened and with the parents still being alive, and it would have been a lot more believable and a lot less irritating and a lot less, like, cliche, like, oh, the parents, you know, pass away, like, which is really sad. And also, like, that happened when both Anna and Elsa were really little. So my question is, who was running the kingdom all those years until Elsa, quote unquote, came of age to become the queen? Like, seriously, who was running the kingdom. So, like, the whole movie still could have happened if, like, you know, the king and queen, like, were still alive. Anna and Elsa grew up, and Elsa forever, you know, was afraid of her powers and stayed inside. And then, like, one day they, you know, had a party or something, and she had a slip up, and then, like, the ice powers came out, and then everyone freaked out, and then she ran away and became the Ice Queen. Could have happened that way, and it would have been a lot more believable instead of what Disney decided to do. Like, the king and queen, for some reason, both have to go. First off, kings and queens didn't really go on ships to do stuff. They would send other people. Second of all, there was literally no one else in the castle. It was just Anna. And who was taking care of Anna and Elsa? You know the one thing princesses have that you don't? Both. Which is your favorite? Ooh. I think Ariel's my favorite, but I also love Aurora. And Pocahontas. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be Ariel. Bambi. Oh yeah, that was so sad. And could she control water too? I don't know. No, I've never been to Hawaii. I would love to, but sadly no. How's it going? It's going pretty well. Oh. Have I been to Croatia? No. That's kind of a random place. Sorry, I'm trying to set the phone up again. I would love to go. I would love to go to Hawaii, but, you know, you can't just up and go to Hawaii. If I had someone to go with, maybe. I mean, my family, of course, but why did YouTube oh, you didn't do that yourself? I don't know. I've actually never seen that before. That's really interesting. I guess they're trying to keep things PG. I don't know. And you had said why Ariel, and I think I relate to her a lot because of the whole, like, being a mermaid and wanting to be a human thing and falling in love with someone who he's a human, you're a mermaid. And now, and the only thing I mean, like, as a Christian, like, I think it's creepy, like, with Ursula and all that, so, but, anyway. Could always bring the cats to Hawaii. I mean, I guess. Dolphins are fun. You know what I like? I love turtles. Like, I really love turtles. I have just right here in my vicinity, I have these little guys. This guy sadly lost his flipper. And I have this little guy. His shell comes off, and these are like dried flowers, I guess, that I put in there for some reason. But yeah, he's so cute. I used to have a tortoise, and he looked like this. His name was Sheldon. So this reminds me of Sheldon. Yeah. I've actually, I probably have done, I've done a few covers of Part of Your World, in the past. I'm pretty sure I have like 5 or something versions, I don't know. But that's like my favorite song. I also did a photo shoot I did a photo shoot where I basically like dressed up as a mermaid. Your favorite I don't know. Okay, I guess I'll sing since we're talking about Ariel. I can look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think she's got everything. Got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. Yes, I have been to Disney World. I was actually born in Florida. So, oh, you know what? I'm starting to get cold. I need my sweater. I was actually born in Florida, so, I went to Disney quite a few times as a kid. Oh, thank you, Christopher. Aw. Hey, I don't know. I mean, the best I can do is post YouTube videos. So, maybe maybe I should do that more often. Or I guess I could sing on the church worship team. But I don't know. Sebastian. He has a good song. Under the Sea. I would love to play Ariel, like, in a musical. I don't know. Yeah. Didn't, like, Justin Bieber start on, like, Musical.ly or something? I don't know. It's all about, you know, if that's what God wants for me, it'll happen, but I feel like what he's truly calling me to do is ministry. But I also have, you know, passions for acting and singing and dancing and geology, and you could have sang in the Super Bowl. Hey, I feel like I'd be nervous. I don't know. If I ever were asked, I'm sure I could do that. I would just probably close my eyes and pretend nobody's watching except Jesus. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know why I feel more shy singing than talking. Even though you don't like football. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did not watch. I wasn't interested in watching the show because I knew, like, in the past, the Super Bowl halftime shows have been like, you know, Beyonce, Katy Perry, people that I don't really like listen to, like, pop music, or, like, I really don't like rap music. Ugh. And I also don't like country music. So I'm from Alabama. Well, I live in Alabama. People really do like country music here. I don't like it. Seahawks won. Well, hey, that's great. I don't even know. I guess Seattle Seahawks, right? What was the other team? Ugh. I don't like country. It's too twangy. I mean, if I had to pick one or the other, I would listen to country music. But, excuse me, I had, like, some carbonated water, so. There's one country song I like, and it's the one the try that in a small town. You know that one? I don't know. In general, I'm not a fan of country music. No, I don't. Well, I like to swim, and I go to the gym sometimes, and I really like doing spin. So like stationary bike. Um, and then I walk and I run sometimes. But and then I dance a little bit. Like on Sundays I dance at every other Sunday. Um we do dance worship for kids class. Yeah. Try that in a small town full of good old boys raised up right. Um yeah, so this story of this is actually interesting. It is the Roman numeral 9, and um so there was a time when I was really into metal. Um yes, I was really into metalcore. Not like heavy metal, but like metalcore, angsty. When I was angsty, there's this band called Ice Nine Kills, and me and my brother my brother showed them to me, and we both really got obsessed with them. And so this IX was one of their logos, and I used to like sketch it on, like I had this idea for like getting this tattoo, and I would like sketch it. And then I was talking in one of my geology classes, my mineralogy class. This guy who I really, really had a giant crush on, and I were talking, and we ended up talking about, like, the subject of tattoos came up. He was saying he had a tattoo he wanted to get, and then I said, oh, I have this tattoo that I kind of want to get, and I showed it to him, and one day he was like, let's go to the tattoo place, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go. And I was thinking, I'm not actually gonna get it. And then he was like, well, I took you here, so he kind of like peer pressured me into it, but I was really happy with it. Like, because for some reason I really wanted it, and I think it is cute. And like, it was really funny when I was getting it, because I said something to the guy. I was like, this is the only one I ever want to get. And he's like, that's what they all say. And I'm like, no, seriously, this is the only one. And like, I don't want any other tattoos. If it were now, I probably would not choose to get it, but I'm okay with it. And so now, because I don't really listen to that band anymore, because unfortunately their music started getting really dark, and I just, the more I grew in my faith, I kind of, like, I had a moment where, like, I mean, I was always a Christian, but I kind of went through a time in college when I was pretty far from God, and just dealing with a lot of things. But after, like, I had a come to Jesus moment, re-come to Jesus moment. And, you know, the more I grew in my faith, I kind of was like, you know, this stuff is not good. But so, you know, God worked it out, because in the Bible, you know, numbers have, they're significant. Numbers have significance in the Bible. And so the number 9 in the Bible basically stands for divine completion. So, like, 9 is the number of completion, divine completion. So now, instead of saying, so when people ask, what is your tattoo of, I'm like, well, now I look at it and I say, that's what it stands for. And I'm really thankful for that, because, you know, if it didn't have that alternative meaning, I would have been, you know, it's not like super visible or anything, but, you know, as a Christian, I probably would be like, ugh, it's kind of too bad to be, like, associated with something I don't want to be associated with anymore. So, okay, sorry, I was just talking and oh, you're doing a music project. Watching the live, standing in line, I see number 9. I know you'll be fine. I think that may be mine. Oh wait, all this rhymes. I feel like having lime and I see a mime. Okay, I would, I think the first couple lines are good, and then it gets kind of silly. Because, like, if being silly is what you're going for, then that's good. Just making up the lyrics as you watch, you see a Buick. That's funny. So yes, now I'm very, I mean, I would consider a lot closer to God. God is really, really important to me. Like, he's central to my life. And, you know, honestly, I've dealt with a lot of stuff in my life, and God has saved my life many times, both physically, like both literally and like metaphorically speaking. And every time something bad happens, you know, Jesus has always been there for me. And, you know, it even does say something in the Bible like that, I'm getting a little sleepy, so, but, like talking about, I think it's in James, it was the verse of the day today, like, count it all joy, brothers and sisters, when you face trials and persecutions of many kinds, because it's for the glory of Christ and you're taking part in his sufferings. So, like, God does allow, when you follow him, he allows you to go through things, but he does it just to help you grow. And he doesn't cause the bad things to happen, but he allows them to, because he knows. Like, a good example would be like Job. Oh. Just making up the lyrics as I watch. I see that being parked by the pole right near a mole. Okay. So you're actually working on a music project for class? That's cool. I feel like in the past I've tried to write songs before. I remember doing that when I was little. I don't think I could ever write anything good though. But I may end up learning to play guitar, so I don't know. There are a few songs that I would love to play on guitar. Like, oh, and I know we were talking about music earlier and like what music I like. I really like Fall Out Boy. I haven't listened to Fall Out Boy in a while, but when I was like 17, I got really obsessed with Fall Out Boy. And there are some Fall Out Boy songs that I really love. Like there's an acoustic version of one of the songs I'd love to play. You love Fall Out Boy? Yeah, what's your favorite song? My favorite song of theirs is 4th of July. Me and my sister used to listen to it like... You were Fall Out Boy today. You fell out of... That's funny. I actually got to see Fall Out Boy in concert twice. First time, it was my first concert ever, and it was incredible. And then the second time was not quite as incredible, but it's mostly because I wasn't as crazy about them. Like, me and my sister got to go together. I did, so Christopher, are you from America? Do you live in America? Because, I know that they go on world tours, but, so I saw them in Birmingham, Alabama, both times at the same place, on different tours. One, like the first one was called Wind Tour. Oh, which part of California? Oh man. I don't know if they've played there before. I'm sure that they must. I know that they have. I don't think they're on tour right now. Florida or Hawaii? Well, actually, I was born in Florida, and unless you live at the beach, it's not that great. And then I actually did live in California for 2 years. Do you know where Redding is? Because I lived in Northern California. It's technically the alligator state, but yes. Yes, I was born in the alligator state. Where... Did I ever see... Oh yeah, no. I saw way too many alligators in my lifetime. Way too many. Oh, nice. Yeah, what do you think about Reading? I mean, I lived there for 2 years. We moved there to go to this church called Bethel Church. It was very interesting experience, to say the least. But Reading, I would like to go back there someday, maybe. This is not hot anymore. But the one thing, like, when I moved, so in Florida, basically, anywhere there's water, there's probably an alligator. So I was so used to that. Like, you have to, water is, in Florida is really pretty. It's all around, but if it's fresh water or brackish water, there's probably an alligator. At least one. We actually lived on a lake for part of my life. We had a lake in our backyard. It was a pretty small lake. But oh, my phone is on low battery. There was at least one big alligator in the lake. And my parents actually called an alligator trapper to come get it because, they were afraid. Because they were afraid of it. No, we did not go swimming in that lake. We would go wading in it, like sometimes, but it was really mucky and like you couldn't really see, which in Florida, like mucky water is very bad because you can't see and there could be alligators, snakes. We had some neighbors actually, and we would see them swimming in the lake sometimes. I still have dreams about it sometimes, actually. It's really weird. And we were always like, they're crazy. But there was another lake in the same neighborhood that was shallow, and that was shallower, and of course there were still alligators, but like you could see the water. So there was this little sandy little beach, and we called it the lake lot, and we would go swimming in there sometimes, but not really swimming, more just like playing in the water. And of course my parents were sitting there like watching for alligators. Never saw one there though. Claw, the albino alligator in the San Francisco. No, I haven't. I have not. I have seen an albino alligator though. At of course in Florida there's literally I don't know if it still exists, but there's a place. I don't think it's wrong to call it an amusement park, but there's a place called Gatorland, which is, as the name suggests, mostly they just have a lot of alligators and like maybe a few alligator themed rides and stuff, but there was an albino alligator. And I actually remember I felt pretty sad for him because he was in I felt sad for the alligator. It's crazy. He was in a pretty shallow Like, he didn't look very happy. Claude was the coolest alligator. Yeah, I mean, I don't like alligators. Ugh. I am glad. I mean, here in Alabama, there's water here. Like, I live in northern Alabama, and I've never seen an alligator here, but there's this one lake in my city where there's at least one alligator that people have seen. And yeah, the Tennessee River has alligators, but I've never seen one. But there's a lot less than in Florida. Well, that's good. But still, you never know. Interesting. I might look him up. Oh, he died? Oh, that's sad. Poor guy. I need to go charge my phone again. Aw, that is really sad. What cars do I like? Well, funny thing, I really don't like cars that much. But I do like trucks. I like small trucks. Like, when I was growing up, we had a white Ford F-150, and I loved it. So I really like F-150s, and I don't know. I guess we've also always had Volvos, but I do like trucks. Ford Raptor. I've never heard of that. Hilux. That must be a European brand. Oh yeah, I mean, I assumed it was a truck because Ford. Toyota. Oh, hey, you guys. I was talking about my other cat. Here he is. Mushy. Can you guys hear him purring? He's very vocal. But, yeah, so he does this all the time. This, like, Mushy the Enlightened one. Well, there's the fan. The fan is probably the noise you hear, but he's also making little purrs. He came out of his meditation. Yeah. He's so sweet. Honestly, like, I love both my cats, but I can't pick a favorite. Mushi was the first one that I got, and then I got Snowy because I kind of felt like he needed a friend. He honestly, so he's full grown, but he kind of looks like a kitten to me. He's just very wiry, and he's hilarious because he likes to rub his head on literally everything. Yeah. He also likes to chew on things, though. Like, ah! Say hi. Look at my beautiful, beautiful blue eyes. Uh-oh. His claw got stuck in my sweater. I don't know why he does the head, like, rubbing thing. It's really funny. Yeah. I have quite a few cat toys. I have some, and so, like, also, I have, he'll, like, make toys out of pretty much anything, but I have a few, like, specific cat toys. Mushi, stop! Stop chewing on the light. I don't understand why he does that. I don't think I have any in here. Here, Mushy. Oh, here's one. I've had this little mouse forever. Sometimes he plays with it, but yeah. And then I have that. I have other things, but sometimes I just find like cat toys like randomly around the house. No, I don't let the cats go outside. I mean, sometimes I let them go outside, but I don't let them roam around. So he really loves boxes, and so I feel kind of sometimes I like, you know, when I get like packages, like I'll keep the cardboard boxes around for a while because he likes to sit in them. But I don't have any right now. You gotta go soon. That's okay. I actually probably need to go too because my voice is getting a little bit tired. So, the live will be available, but I don't think that the chat replay will be. I don't know. But the live will be uploaded. I don't know why. Okay, Mushi. But this has been really fun, and I am glad that I went live tonight, and thank you guys for hanging out, and it's been really nice to talk to you all, and I will definitely be going live more often. So it should be uploaded in a couple hours. Like, as soon as I end the live, it'll start uploading. And it's almost 3 hours long, so it's gonna take a little while. It's gonna take a minute, as we say in Alabama, but it should be there depending on what your time zone is. But I do remember you said something like about limes and mimes, and that you said, hey, this rhymes, now I want a lime and I see a mime, and that was when it started to sound silly. So if you remember that. But before that, it was... And also, you're welcome. And it was nice to talk to you too. And I hope that I see you in a future live. Oh! Okay, right. Stupid... Well, not stupid. I'm trying not to call myself stupid, but... Silly me, I forgot you are in California. So you're 2 hours behind me. Yeah, so it's almost 7 p.m. for me now. So yeah, it should be up for you before midnight. Yeah. Well, it was funny. All right, well, I don't know. I think everyone does that. But I've been trying to be nicer to myself, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I wouldn't call someone else stupid. So I shouldn't call myself stupid. Thank you. I know I'm smart. I just don't always act smart. But anyway, I'm feeling a lot better. And probably my live streams will be earlier in the day. I kind of went live a little bit later than I normally do, but I don't know. I honestly, like, I'm really bad at, like, making schedules. So I really can't say for sure when I'll be back, but I'm gonna try and go live every day for at least a little bit, or at least every other day. But yeah, so I will sign off now, and I'll see you guys later, okay? God bless you all.